Good morning, everybody. So in the last class, I had covered till PN sequence generator. So I had also given the assignment to 4 of the students. One is Harshit, A section, and he has done it. Thank you, Harshit. And the same thing I have uploaded to B section group also. But students from B section, that is Krishan, Likit, Mahid, you have not done the assignment. I felt very bad. Hope you will not repeat this again. So let me come to this PN sequence generation, how we do this. I'll explain 2 examples here for your convenience. So to start with, this material, whatever I am using today, I have not given you, but the same thing I will upload into your WhatsApp group after the lecture. Now let us come back to PN sequence generation. So this consists of a linear feedback shift register, LFSR, which contains M number of flip-flops. The initial content should be other than zeros. I've already told you. If the initial content are zeros, then you will held in the infinite loop. You cannot come out of that. So please give the initial content other than 0. Now length of the PN sequence, L is equal to 2 raised to M minus 1. For example, if M is 3, then L is 7. That means your PN sequence repeats after 7 clock pulse. So hence your PN sequence is periodic, as I've shown here. Now let us take up this example where I've considered M is equal to 4. So when M is equal to 4, L will be equal to 15. That means after 15 clock pulse, the sequence should repeat. So what are the various sequence we come across? For every each and clock pulse, we will see it. Now this circuit, I have taken example 1 where I have got 4 flip-flops, C3, C2, C1, C0. The connections I have shown you here. So the input to this mod 2 operation is from C0 and C1. Output of this is connected or fed back to C3. Now let us take up this. M is equal to 4 means how many combinations you will get? 16. But we are not going to use this. This is not used. Okay. So we'll be left with only 15 combination. So you can select any combination as the initial data and load it into this shift register. So here I have taken 100 as my initial data. So 1 clock pulse is required to load this initial data. So my initial data to start with is 1000. Next what I do, I give the clock pulse. So here also I require clock pulse to load this data, and I will start shifting by giving the clock pulse one by one. Now with the clock pulse 1 here, the data gets, as per the circuit diagram, you can see that the data present in C3 gets shifted to C2, C2 gets shifted to C1, C1 gets shifted to C0. But what is the output of mod 2 addition? Output of mod 2 addition is C0 mod 2 with C1. So I will take mod 2 of C0 with C1 is 0. Yeah, 0 plus 0. So C0, C1, mod 2 of, you can see this expression here, C3 is equal to C1 mod 2 with C0. So 0 mod 2 with 0 is 0 here. Okay. Next, I will apply again another clock pulse. Now when I apply the next clock pulse, this content of C3 gets shifted to C2, C2 gets shifted to C1, and C1 gets shifted to C0. Now what is C0 and C1? C0 is 0, C1 is 1. So 1 mod 2 with 0 is yeah, 1. So this you will get it here. As per this mod 2 addition, you do it. Now you can continue this. So like this, for every clock pulse, we are finding the sequence. What is the sequence? Okay. Next, we will see that when the clock pulse is 15th, that is after starting the movements of the contents of flip-flops from one to another, the sequence repeats. That means after 15 clock pulse, so this is 14 plus 1 clock pulse to load the initial data. This cycle will, the sequence will repeat. So one period, L is equal to 2 power m minus 1, that is equal to 15. This is called the fundamental period. After 15 clock pulse, the sequence repeats. Hence, this PN code sequence is called a periodic sequence. I have taken one more example here. So this example 2 is respect to the table that I given you in the material. So here, as per the table, if you have taken n is equal to 4, then the stages connected to mod 2 adder is 1 and 4. That is what he says as per that table. So 1 and 4. What? 4. Okay. So I have connected 4 here and 1 here to mod 2 adder. The output of this I have to feed it here. This is as per that table in your material. So the circuit what I have done here is correct. 4-stage shift register with linear feedback. Okay, you can refer the table. For n is equal to 4, you are supposed to connect mod 1, flip-flop 1 and flip-flop 4 to the mod 2 addition. Is that clear? Now the output of this should go to the mth flip-flop. So mth flip-flop here is 4. Now the output is equal to C1 mod 2 with C4. That means the previous data of C1 and C4, when you perform mod 2 of between the two, you will get the latest value of C4. That is what we are going to do it here. So let me consider the initial state again as 1, 0, 0, 0. So this initial state, either you can load it to the flip-flop serially, or it can also be done parallelly, for which you require clock pulse. Now once this is the initial data, now let us go on applying the clock pulse and perform this operation and find what is the new data into the register. Now for the first clock pulse, so 1, 0, 0, 0 is initial state. Now when you give one clock pulse, so this C4 gets shifted to C3, C3 to C2, C2 to C1. Now the C4, the new value of C4 has to be C1 with C4. That is 0 mod 2 with 1. It has to be 1. So it is 1. Next, the second clock pulse. So C4 to C3, C3 to, that is, yeah, C4 to C3, C3 to C2, C2 to C1. Now 1, 0 plus 1 is, 0 mod 2 with 1 is 1. So 1 is here. Now like that, for every clock pulse, I will calculate the contents of the shift register and I will tabulate them. Now if you can see here, the sequence repeats after 15 clock pulse. So here also I have proved that your PN sequence generator generates a sequence which is periodic, and the generated sequence is called the PN code sequence. So you can also try this for other sequences. That means, say you can assume any other data as the initial data, and you can do the connection as per the terms dictated in the table and perform the, that is, you can write down what are the various sequences for different clock pulses and you can tabulate them. And as a check, you can verify for this state. That is, after n clock pulses, your sequence should repeat again. So that is the check you can make to know that whether the connections you have done in the circuit and the initial state, the different states that you have written for different clock pulses are correct or not. So this is the way you need to generate the PN code sequence. So in the question paper, you will be having problem on this generation of PN code sequence. This is the only problem you will get in spread spectrum technique. That is module 5. Now I just stop here. I will join you again after 5 minutes because I need to relate my explanation to another material that is there in the Google Drive. So I require at least 5 minutes to go to that, and I will come back to you. If you have any doubts, you can ask me at the end of the session, or you can send me to your WhatsApp group. Sequence. Is the screen, are you able to see the screen, all of you? Hello? Are you able to see the screen? Please answer me. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this material I will send it to your respective groups. Thank you. Thank you. I will start now. Okay. Now, before I go to gold sequence, I should tell you something about this M sequence generator. You can see this block diagram here. M sequence, block diagram of an M sequence generator. First, I will explain this block diagram. Then I will come to gold sequence. Okay. So the explanation of this M sequence generator is here. Maximum. Yeah, this is the explanation of M sequence generator, maximum length sequence. This material I will send it to you in your respective groups. So maximum length sequence. I'll come back to the diagram here. This M sequence. This M sequence generator is usually constructed using the diagram I have shown you on the slide. The M sequences are the largest codes that can be generated by a given shift register of given length. See here, M sequence generator, it contains N flip-flops and is initiated with a starting seed. Starting or initial seed means starting data or initial data, which is usually transmitted through a secured channel for the intended users only. So you can see this secured channel here. So the one at the bottom of this diagram is the secured channel through which this initial seed means initial data is transmitted, and this gets into the flip-flops of the shift registers S0 to Sn-1. Okay, so we are loading the initial data through a secured channel to the flip-flops of the shift registers by using a secure channel to the intended users. I hope you know what is intended users. I've already told you in the explanation in the earlier sections. So I just start with that. The outputs of the shift registers. You can see here S0, S1, Sn-2, Sn-1, etc. The outputs of this shift registers are multiplied with the coefficients. You can see here Cn-1, Cn-2 and so on, C1, C0. So these are the coefficients of a primitive polynomial with respect to mod 2 operation. So the outputs of this shift registers are multiplied with this coefficients of the primitive polynomial with respect to mod 2 operation, and the resultant output, what you are going to get here, the final stage, the resultant output obtained by the modulo operation is then fed back to the first shift register. So this resultant output, what we are getting here is an M sequence code. This is also a pseudo-random code. Okay. Now the periodicity of this M sequence generator is 2n-1. That is, this sequence is also periodic. This is also a form of a pseudo noise code generator or a pseudo noise code sequence, and this also has a periodicity of 2 power n-1. The length of the sequence depends on the length of the linear feedback shift register used in generating the M sequence. So that is about this M sequence generator. Now with this we will go to gold sequence. This is the circuit diagram of a gold sequence from which we are going to generate the gold sequence. See, this gold sequence and Kasami sequence both are also pseudo noise code sequence. Now why we go for this gold sequence or Kasami sequence is the security that you can get in just a conventional PN code sequence is not that good. You want your information to be more secure. We go to such code sequences, that is gold sequence and Kasami sequence. That means you are hiding your information with large amount of security so that only the intended receiver should be able to receive the signal and demodulate it to extract the original information. So this gold sequence, the output what you get here is the gold sequence output. So this can be generated by the XOR operation of two M sequences. I told you what is M sequence. M sequence is nothing but maximum length sequence. So here we are using two such M sequence. One will be here. Okay. Another will be here. Another will be here. So we are performing XOR operation between these two sequences, M1 and M2. With only few chosen pairs of M sequences, we can produce the gold sequence. And when we are using chosen pairs of M sequence, we call such a gold sequence as preferred pairs of M sequence. The length of the gold sequence equals the individual M sequence length. Advantage of this gold sequence, I told you earlier, it provides more security compared to a conventional PN code sequence or an M sequence. Gold sequences are very simple to generate. Now, how does this give us the gold sequence? Here is the explanation for that. The gold sequences are constructed by taking a pair of specially selected M sequences, that is called as preferred M sequence. So you have to choose two M sequences and load it in the circuit, one in the upper part and another in the lower part of the circuit. And we are going to perform mod to sum of the two sequences for each of L cyclically shifted versions of one sequence related to the other sequence. That means you can keep any one of the sequence, either M1 or M2 fixed, and vary, that is L cyclically shifted versions of another sequence is mod 2 is added with this M1 using mod 2 operation. Is that clear to you? Any one of the sequence should be kept fixed and vary another sequence. It can be either M1 or M2. Keep one constant, vary the other one. How do you vary? You have to perform L cyclically shifted version. So for each of L cyclically shifted version, you will be getting a new M sequence. Okay. Then you perform mod 2 addition between that new sequence and that fixed sequence. So that gives us the gold sequence at the output. Hence, we will be getting L gold sequences at the output. So I'm repeating again that one sequence should be kept constant. You are not supposed to cyclically shift them. Keep one constant. Keep the other M sequence L cyclically shifted version. So for each of the shifted version, you perform mod 2 addition between the constant sequence and the shifted sequence. You will get one sequence here. So like that, for each and every L cyclically shifted version of the one sequence with the constant sequence, you will be getting L gold sequences. So what you are trying to do by this operation is, you are trying to hide your signal more and more so that your signal is secured. Okay. Now for M odd, the maximum value of the cross correlation function between any pair of gold sequence is Rmax is equal to root of 2L. And for M being even, the cross correlation function between any pair of gold sequence is root of L. So you know what is difference between autocorrelation and cross correlation. Now coming to primitive polynomial. So this word I had used it when I explained this M sequence. Primitive polynomial means you consider a polynomial, say for example, y of x is equal to a0 plus a1 into x plus a2 into x power 2 and so on up to an x to the power of n. Now when you take the coefficients and find their greatest common divisor or HCF factor, if the HCF factor of those coefficients that belongs to this polynomial is equal to 1, then we say that the polynomial is primitive. If the HCF or the greatest common divisor is not equal to 1, then such a polynomial we say it is non-primitive polynomial. So this polynomials are especially used in error control coding, that is in the MTech subject, that is error control coding subject in the MTech semester. Okay, so that is about the primitive polynomial. Now coming to this gold sequence, I hope you have understood what a gold sequence is. That rotation you should be very, very careful. So using two preferred M sequence generators of degree n with a fixed non-zero seed. I am telling you, with a fixed non-zero seed in the first generator. That means for any reason, you should not have the initial data as 0 in the generators. So with a fixed non-zero seed means data in the first generator, 2 power n gold codes can be obtained by changing the data of the second generator from 0 to 2 power n minus 1. So that means you are performing L cyclically shifted version of another M sequence before you do the Marto operation of this with the constant sequence. So another gold sequence can be obtained by setting, if you are setting one of the M sequence as 0, then you perform the, the Marto operation of the M sequence of 0 and another sequence. Then the resulting gold sequence will be same as the second M sequence itself. So in total, 2 power n plus 1 golds will be generated, sequence will be generated. Now I'll stop here. You don't go to the analysis part because we don't have analysis here. So this is what is this greatest common divisor. Okay. So that is what I told you, what is primitive polynomial. So you don't worry about that. You don't go to the analysis part. You should know the circuit diagram and the explanation of this. Okay. So that will do for your syllabus. Now we have another such sequence called Kasami sequence. This I will take it up in the next class. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. I will unmute all of you. Hello. The material will be loaded into your WhatsApp group. Whatever the material I shared here on the screen. Okay. Thank you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Feel free to ask me.